Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast / YouTube / We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My brother, Jay, Hiz over there in the six. How you doing, my dog?
Great. I'm doing great. I say I'm doing great, but as a fan of a team, Jay, you kind of live and die by it, especially as diehards ourselves, man. It kind of can affect your mood. So the Warriors I'm going to address the elephant in the room. The Warriors, defending champs, are on a 4-game losing streak. And a terrible loss last night. So I got that in the back of my head, but other than that, I can't complain. We live and we breathe and see another day, Jay. So other than that, I'm good. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Jay. Doing good. It's happy that it's Friday. The weekend is here.
Yes, sir.
And Jay, like you said, as a diehard fan, you're always on that pendulum of like happy and sad, but that's how the game go, man. That's why it's the best game in the world. That's basketball, man. But yes, Jay. So we're happy to be here for this episode for the family out there. We have a jam-packed, exciting episode for you guys, man. We got 4 fun segments, and then we got some games to get into as well, man. So we're not going to waste no time around here. We know we don't like to waste any time. If you're on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure you show some love by leaving us a nice little ranking below and leave us a nice little comment. But if all that's out the way, let's go ahead and get into it, Jay. Jay, my brother, over here at Clutch Talk, I feel like, everyone, when you do something good, you feel me, you need to be rewarded. And Jay, you came up with the genius idea this week. You sent me the link to this, basically it's like guess a player game, right? And you were like, yo, we should add this as a segment. And I was mind boggled. I was like, this is a great idea, Jay. So that's exactly what we're going to kick this off today's episode. By the way, today is November 4th, Friday, November 4th, for everybody out there trying to timestamp us November 4th. So don't get mad at us if we say something that happens after, man. But so we're gonna get into this game, this Pirtle guessing game. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here, and what will come up is about some facts, or like a highlighted where you can't really see who the player is, and we have to guess it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll go ahead and get into it. Do you see that, my brother?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just so people know how we're playing, and you get 8 guesses to try to guess any current NBA player. Green in any column indicates a match, so that could be like whatever, if it's Eastern Conference, Western Conference, how tall the player is, weight. I don't know if it has weight, but then yellow in the team column indicates that the mystery player at one point played for this team but does not currently. Yellow in the position column indicates a partial match to the mystery player's position. Yellow in any other column indicates this attribute is within 2 inches, years, numbers of the mystery player. So basically that's it, Jay. So we can do the silhouette, or we can just guess, try to guess it without using the silhouettes, but it's up to you. You trying to do it? Let's try to do it without the silhouette.
Let's try
to do it without the silhouette.
I like that. All right.
Let's try to do it
without the silhouette.
Okay. What player are you feeling? I guess it could be any random player, but
we can guess any random player right here.
We can just guess any player, and then we got to try to base it off. Base it off that. Who you feeling?
You want to go Trae Young? Are you not feeling Trae Young?
I feel like we should do. You know what I think we should do? We should do someone who's like 6'6". So then, if it's up or down, or maybe
Lonzo Ball.
We could do Trae Young.
Let's do Lonzo.
Okay, let's do Lonzo. Yeah,
you like Lonzo?
Because then we know up or down. Because then we could go up or down on the height.
He's 6'6" even. Okay.
Okay, so it's an Eastern Conference and it's a guard, and he's below 6'6". He's above 25. He's older than 25.
That's hard.
Who is this?
Alonzo.
He's older than 25. Oh, what?
George Hill?
Oh, yeah. Or Drew Holiday? No. Is he? Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right, let's try.
Yeah, try George Hill. So he's he is number 3.
He's a number. So Grayson.
Who's
Grayson
number
Allen?
3?
No, Grayson Allen. No, Grayson Allen's not.
Nah, Grayson Allen's like 6'4", right? He's like 6'4", 6'5". right?
Three.
Number three, he's below 36.
I can't guarantee that Grayson Allen is 6'4", 6'5", man. Honestly, do you want to try Drew Holiday or because he's not number 3?
He's not number 3 though. Oh, he's guard Eastern Conference. He's number 3. I feel like this. Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. Let's try Bradley Beal.
Oh, he's below 29. So he is in that same conference.
Okay, yeah, same conference.
Southeast. Who's in the Southeast Conference?
Malcolm Brogdon.
He's not number 3 though.
Oh yeah, he's not number. Man, okay, man, this is tough.
Who's in the Eastern Conference? Who's in the Southeastern Conference? I'm trying to think what teams. Who would that even be? Below 6'4".
Pull up the South.
Should we pull it up? No, we don't need it. We don't need
it, Jay. We don't need it.
I'm trying to think. Wait, who's in the Eastern Conference, Southeastern Conference guard 3, and he's under 6'4". Jay, who is this?
I don't know why, Jay, but I think it's Grayson Allen. I don't know, but I also don't know much about the Southeast divisions and all that, so I don't know.
It might be Grayson Allen. You could try that.
Let's just give it a try.
But they're on the same team though. Wait, hold on. They're on the same team, so he's not number 3 though.
Oh, so they're on the same team as the. Oh,
well, George Hill's on the Bucks too, so he can't be number 3.
You're right. That's a great observation. Man.
He was number 3 at Duke. That's probably why you're thinking of it. And I think he was on the. Actually, I don't know what number he was on the Grizzlies.
Man,
oh, who's this?
You want to show the silhouette, Jay?
Should we see the silhouette? Let's see the silhouette.
Let's see the silhouette. Let's see it. Why does it look like
Terry Rozier?
Terry, what?
That's Terry Rozier. It has to be, right? Let me see.
Oh,
it's Terry, scary Terry. Okay, I knew it right.
Okay,
it's Terry Rozier.
I see you, my brother.
Okay.
I see you. Okay, I see you, my brother. That was fire. That was a great little first segment to get into.
I didn't even know that was Terry Rozier, man.
Man,
I didn't know they're in the East. I don't know conference. I don't know divisions like that.
To be real, I don't know divisions like that either. Man, I barely even know my.
Besides the Pacific, yeah. Besides like the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors,
the big ones,
Suns. I know the Pacific like that because it's our
we right here.
Our division, yeah. That's it though.
Exactly. Kings. But man, great game, Jay. And for the fans out there, man, be expecting that consistently throughout these episodes, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're at home, guest with us, leave a comment down below. Say, yo, I got it before you guys. I got it after. Whatever. Let us know. But all right, man. So then, Jay, let's get to our next segment here, Jay, and that's the Up or Down Report, one of our favorite segments that we have here. And Jay, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off early. We know that the All-Star game this year is in Utah, and with them playing the way that they're playing, Jay, currently sitting in that 3rd seed. Are you up or down that somebody from the Utah Jazz will make it into the All-Star game this year, Jay?
It's so early, but I want to say Lauri Markkanen.
Me too.
He's looking like an All-Star. He's looking like an all-star. And I will say this, Jay, at what point does Danny Ainge say this might be a playoff basketball team? You got to start asking yourself that, right? They're competing. There's been no game where I felt like they're truly getting blown out. And I think they have 2 losses now. They've been in every game. They fought hard with Dallas last night. They're looking like a team who's a playoff team. They got the veteran. They got the depth, honestly. I don't see why not. And if they keep at this pace, that's a playoff basketball team, Jay. But I'm going to go with Lauri. Lauri is looking like most improved all-star caliber player this year.
Yeah, Jay, I'm right there with you. Right now, 21 points per game, 9 rebounds on 51% from the field. And most importantly, Jay, he's winning. When no one expected this, man. Me, you, and Greg had him sitting at the bottom of the West, man. So definitely up on that too. But all right, Jay, let's keep it pushing. Let's get to the next statement. Jay, this week I was watching the Magic and OKC game, which I will get into later. And I got really impressed with Bol. Ended the game with 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 4 from the free throw line. And it got me thinking, Jay, are you personally up or down on Bol ever becoming a number 1 or number 2 option in this league? Because he's good, but he's got some issues.
He's good. He's good. I would say he has. I want to see him get stronger. I want to see a lot of things from him. Consistency, right? We've only seen 7 games of him, maybe even 5. I don't know if every game he's played solid so far in this season, but I got to see more of a track record and a consistency for him to say he's ever going to be a number 1, number 2 option. Right now, he's looking like he has the potential to be a really elite role player and complement the guards. Especially saw it firsthand last night, watching that Warriors Magic game, how he can complement Banchero. Suggs is looking like showing flashes of his potential. Franz Wagner, him complementing that young core, being an elite role player, he has that potential. 1-2 option right now. We have to hold the horses a bit there with just a small record, a small track record. At this point, Jack.
Yeah, Jay, I'm right there with you on the down for that. Only because I like Bobo a lot, and he does a lot of great things, covers a lot of space, really can move. Like I've never seen a guy that big move down court. But he's also got a lot of issues, man. Gets into a lot of foul trouble. Isn't the most disciplined player on the offensive end as well. So I think he's got to get that on lock, and more than anything, he's got to get bigger, man. I mean, it would be an atrocity having like Giannis, like him trying to guard a Giannis or like Joel Embiid. That would be bad for his chest. But all right, Jay. So then let's keep that.
He's getting his chest caved in.
His chest caved in by Giannis.
Yeah, he's looking, but he has guard skills in a 7'3" body which is crazy. Looking like a Victor Wanyama light or something.
Man, huh? Yeah. All right, Jay. So let's keep pushing to the next statement here. Jay, this is going to sound crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy, but are you up or down on the Nets trading Kyrie Irving? I know it's going to sound like you're up on it. You're up on it. Me too.
On them trading him? Yeah, I'm gonna be up on it. I'm up on it. You know, this guy, I'm up on him potentially being out of the league. I don't know what in terms of basketball and his priorities in life. I don't know. I'm not with the dude. I don't know, but I'm just basing off what I see and what's presented to us, the facts, right? This is all speculation, but I don't know. Can we honestly sit here and say it's basketball is the highest priority in this dude's life? I'm not, and this is totally unrelated to what he said and what he's done, because that's you're there. What you want to say and do with your medium and that speech, I'm not going to comment on that. That's his right, but I'm just talking strictly basketball. Him being in this Brooklyn Nets organization has been nothing but controversy, drama, and honestly not winning basketball. The farthest they made was the Eastern Conference semifinals, but this Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, throw Ben Simmons in there, James Harden saga has been nothing but a disappointment and a failure. And I can't see Kyrie really. I don't picture that's him coming back and playing on the Nets, Jay. I just don't see it right now. I just don't see it.
Jay, man, I'm happy that you're right there with me, Jay, because as I was working on this, I was like, man, I have to write a great argument as to why I'm up on trading Kyrie, because that just sounds crazy, right? I mean, Kyrie Irving's a 30-point per game scorer. I mean, will be a Hall of Famer within due time, man. But Jay, I'm right there with you, man. I'm looking at this as an organization. If I'm the Nets, right? If I'm the Nets front office, first of all, I don't think this team's going to work. I've said this from the beginning. I had them sitting at the 9th seed of when we did the Eastern Conference prediction. I don't think this team's going to work. Kyrie's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. As a GM, can you really, really trust Kyrie Irving with a big long-term money deal? No, you can't do that. You know, he's a 30-point per game scorer, so he's going to want that big money deal. So what do? In my opinion, at this point, the best thing for you to do is trade Kyrie Irving. You get massive trade value, like insane trade value. You build this team around KD and you go from there, man.
But Jay, do you? That's what I was going to ask you next. I don't know what the Nets are in a tough situation inherently because of all the drama surrounding Kyrie. And I think it hurts his trade value because teams know how toxic a situation can be if Kyrie's added to the equation, right? So what team really wants to bring on? Jay, and no disrespect, I think maybe the Lakers who are willing to take that on because we know the strictly basketball talent that Kyrie brings would make the Lakers a better basketball team. No doubt in my mind. And anyone who knows basketball would say the same thing, but it's off the court, all the baggage he's bringing. And maybe the good thing for the Lakers, they could probably get him for cheap because they know the Nets are trying to offload him, Jay. But do you think, I think has a low trade value, honestly. But the Nets can't bring him back. That's the problem.
That's a good, AJ, I'm not going to lie. That's a great counter to what I said, because I didn't even really think about it from that point. I just thought Kyrie's 30 point per game scorer. Yeah. And that's a massive trade value. We know who Kyrie is, but that is true that teams are probably going to try to do the same thing that they were doing in Philadelphia and just lowball him. Like, why I'm going to give you my star player if he going to come in here and 6 months from now, if he gets in an argument with the janitor, he's going to like start pooping on the court or something like that. Kyrie's crazy, man.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, Jay. But honestly, Jay, as a Lakers fan, I would. So look, at the beginning of the year, I was like, nah, I don't want to take him too much drama. But after seeing, kind of how the season has gone, I think a player like Kyrie Irving would help us out a lot. So honestly, I would take that. I was actually, shout out Junior, shout out my brother. I was actually talking to him. He brought that up to me, and I said I really don't know, man, because that's a tough one, because LA is already scrutinized. I mean, they already scrutinized. LA is already on that magnifying glass. And you add a player like Kyrie Irving, which comes with all this baggage. Man, it could go right on basketball wise, but it also could become like TMZ land even more than it already is.
Yeah, I would do it. If you, in my opinion, I don't think the Lakers have anything to lose. With your current roster build, you're not competing, but you bring in Kyrie. That is a whole different conversation, right? How the potential, the ceiling, it raises the ceiling. We don't know what's going to happen, but the risk, I think the reward outweighs the risk. You're going to underachieve with the current roster, but you add Kyrie into that equation, the ceiling's just raised. The floor might be a little lower, right? But the ceiling, boom.
Man, Jay. Yeah, Jay. Honestly, that'd be big. Yeah. Maybe the Lakers need to look into that. Yeah. Maybe the Nets, but the Nets need to be very selective with who they let Kyrie go for. Because it's not a lot of there's not a lot of
Robert, make the call, Robert.
Come on, Robert. Last episode I was over here yelling at Rob. So come on, Rob, make the dang call, man. But all right, Jay. So let's keep pushing. Let's get to our last up or down, Jay. As the Nets move closer towards bringing Ime Udoka as the head coach. As a whole, Jay, how are you feeling? Are you up or down on this move? This was so random.
Man, I am all the way down. The Nets are a wild organization, Jay. Wild. It's like any logical move that they could possibly make, they do the opposite. It feels like. And it's wild. I'm down on that all the way. I mean, there's no question, and it's not anything to do with Ime Udoka and what he brings to the table. We know he's a winning basketball coach. He brought the Celtics to the championship in his first season with them. The question is all the baggage he's bringing, similar to a guy like Kyrie. Is that really what you want to build and bring in after what just has transpired the past 2-3 years with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, him coming in, sitting out playoffs? Is he willing to play basketball? I don't know. I just think it's the worst possible thing and spice you could add into this concoction you're building in Brooklyn, man. I just can't.
I'm so down on that, Jay. Man. I'm so down. I'm right there with you. Like, that's just drama. Like, you took a man with baggage and added to place with KD most baggage, Kyrie most baggage, and then also like the Nets organization, like they have some baggage going on. Remember in the offseason when Kevin Durant was like, "I want Sean Marks and Steve Nash out of here," and then Joe Tsai was like, "No, like we're going with Steve Nash and we're going with Sean Marks." 7 games into the season, Steve Nash goes, and then they bring Ime Udoka. So like, what are you saying? Like, to me at this point, it looks like the Nets organization are just giving power to the players, man, because they said, oh, we're not going to go for just what the players want. We're rocking with Steve Nash. Then KD walked this statement back and was like, yeah, I know. I'm excited to go with Steve Nash. 7 games into it, he goes. Man, I think this is just so much drama, so much messiness. I also think basketball wise, Ime Udoka is going to be a good defensive coach, but the Nets don't have the defensive players to get it done. So I just don't see how this move is going to make sense. And I feel kind of bad for the Celtics, man. I mean, like he was a good coach. And I mean, besides what happened, like he just got snatched up. Like I seen his statement on Marcus Smart. He's like, I'm honestly so confused. Like, he's like, I seen him get suspended for a year, but I thought like next year he'd be back. And now he's a Nets coach. So I was confused about that too. I thought like, isn't he on contract? I'll listen to all that. So whole bunch of drama. I'm so down on that move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a wild situation. And I could say I could call the Steve Nash firing today, but the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. I don't any. But
you called it early.
I called it early, but I mean, it was clear he was on the hot seat from the beginning of the season. Yeah, they're saying Joe Tsai. We could call his bluff from a mile away. The dude was saying that he's riding with Nash and Sean Marks, but as soon as he got the opportunity, he was firing him. And similar to Kyrie Irving and his whole situation that's going on with his statement about the documentary and all that, he made a statement, but I feel like Joe Tsai was basically, and the Nets organization their hand was forced so much to the point where they had to suspend him. And I'm surprised they didn't take that action immediately, dude. And it just goes to your point about the player empowerment and that sort of thing. It's like they're bending and folding to these guys. Man. Like that's just what it feels like. Yeah. And every indication has been that they've been folding to the players. They've been willing to do whatever they want, right? And then KD comes in into the press conference and says, I didn't know that Steve Nash was going to get fired. Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
What did he say?
Come on,
KD. Said, I woke up from my nap. I turned around and I looked at my phone. I was like, KD, stop that.
You know what? You know what's crazy about that, Jay, is that the Nets are not they are not doing that or getting that without the sign off and approval of Kevin Durant.
Come on, man.
That's your franchise player. That's your tag.
Come on.
I can't say the same for Kyrie, but Kevin Durant knows for a fact that was happening. So
come on, man.
Come on.
Honestly,
cut the crap. Cut the BS.
That's honestly ridiculous that Kevin Durant even said that. I love it. I love that you highlighted that, Jay. Yes, I'm right there. Yeah. Super down on that. But all right, Jay. We're just down on the Nets in general, but all right, Jay, let's get to our next segment here. The third segment is Rate Your Worry. Another great segment we like to do here, Jay. You know what it is. Rate Your Worry 1 to 10. Let's go ahead and get straight into it, Jay. You talked about it earlier after the Warriors lost last night to the Magic. That put them at 4 straight losses in a row. Jay, rate your worry 1 to 10 for this Warriors.
I'm gonna go a 5. I'll go 5-4. I mean, this is obviously a terrible start for the defending champions. But I will say the fact is they need to get their rotations down. I think it stems with Wiseman. I feel like the rotation, the staff, Steve Kerr has been gifting him minutes when he hasn't been earned. Besides, I want to say 1-2 games, he played well against the Lakers. He hasn't been playing up to the par at all of what a second pick. The rotations have been off. JaMychal Green should be playing backup center. They need to be playing guys who actually earn their minutes rather than gifting guys minutes because of their second round draft, or their second pick in the draft, or they're on a contract or this and that. It needs to be performance based. And also a reason I'm at a 5 and not too worried is the Warriors rating, offensive rating, defensive rating of their starting 5 is one of the best in the league, which tells me it's just the rotation guys. It's when Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney are off the floor. What is this role? What are the backups? What is the bench doing? Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo has been out for this extended time, the past couple that hurts. He's probably a 6th man, 7th man in that rotation, but they need to fix up the rotations. And I think, that will help this team and they can get back on track. And I think we're going to see that, obviously not tonight because we just breaking news, or when before we recorded this, I saw that, Steph, Klay Thompson, and Draymond and Wiggins are all out. So probably a schedule loss to the Pelicans tonight. I mean, it's going to be tough to win without those guys, but when they get back from this road trip, it's going to be completely different rotations, and they're going to be playing to win, because you've already gifted 6 losses right now early, 7 losses, and you start playing around and giving up games here to the Orlando Magic, one of the worst teams in the league, the Detroit Pistons, one of the worst teams in the leagues, and you'll mess around and be one of the worst teams in the league yourself, the Warriors, and that's the last thing they want to be doing is messing around. That, am I worried about them making playoffs? Absolutely not. These are the defending champions for the reason they faced adversity before. So that's why I'm at a 4 and a 5, Jay. It's figuring out the rotations. It's Jordan Poole and the rest of the bench stepping up and playing better basketball.
Man, I feel you, Jay. I feel you. I'm a little higher on that end. I'm actually at a 9 at a Warrior. But the reason,
really,
but reason because they are the reigning champions. So I have high expectations for them. I can't have the same expectations for them that I have for the Detroit Pistons, because 3 out of the last 4 losses they had should have been an easy win. They should have beat the Hornets rather easily. They should have handled the Pistons rather easily. Should have handled the Magic rather easily, and technically the Heat too, because they are the reigning champions. But we'll give the Heat the credit due that they earned. And honestly, Jay, when I watch them this year, I just don't feel that same energy. I just don't feel that same energy that I felt last year. I know Clay's gotten off to a slow start, struggles. Right now, he's shooting 29% from 3 on 8 threes per game. They're sitting at that 12 seed, and it's early in the season. And that's the other thing. That's why I have to, I'm not going to put it out of 10 because it's early in the season, but it's just, I don't feel the same energy. They're dropping games that they shouldn't drop to teams like the Magic and the Pistons. Like, those are bottom feeders of the league. But most of all, I need everyone to remember that I have to have high expectations. I mean, they're the reigning champions. I can't expect the reigning champions to drop a game to the Pistons, to the Magic, to the Hornets, and that's why I'd have to go with the 9.
When you say worry, what are you saying? Worry to them not making the playoffs?
No, I'm not saying them not making the playoffs. I'm just saying
But what's your
this?
What, like 9 out of 10 on what? And saying what?
Out of like where they are right now as of today as a team. Like, I'm worried, where is this going to? Because if this continues this way, then they won't make the playoffs.
Okay.
This way, like as of today, as of November 4th, if it continues this way, of course we hope to see change, and we will see change. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I wanted to make sure that you were saying, so 9 out of 10 with their current. If that's the basis
for all of these.
Okay, I mean, I'm still at a 5. I need to see with Dante DiVincenzo when they actually have their fixed rotations, because part of the reason that both you and I, Jay, had, well, I'll say for me, I had them at a 3 seed. I knew early on, number one, there's 3 things that were in effect here. Championship hangover, that's real, that's a thing. You saw that a couple years ago with your Lakers. They started out slower than possible. We saw it with the Bucks. They started out slower. Certainly not this year. Best team in basketball right now. But secondly, the rotations early on, integrating the young guys. The Warriors have made it. Their front office have made it an effort, or are trying to balance the veterans with the young guys. Kuminga, Wiseman getting minutes, Moody getting minutes. And I knew coming into this that they were going to struggle early on. I think now, after this road trip, like you said, they shouldn't be dropping games to the Magic. They shouldn't be dropping games to the Pistons. They shouldn't be dropping games to an undermanned Hornets team. So after this terrible road trip, I think the rotations are going to fix up, because they have to. They can't stop. They have to stop dropping games. So it's a worrisome, but I know that they can change it. I know changes will be made. Guys aren't going to be playing minutes. Guys might be getting DNPs, certainly. So that's why I'm at a 4 or 5. If we're talking long term, right now it is worrisome. Absolutely. If it's based on that, then it is a 10 that you drop. You're potentially going to go 0-6 on the road, and that you haven't won a road game too. So that's concerning, but I'll say 4 out of 5 in terms of they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, Jay. like how our boy Sam Cooke said, a change gonna come.
Better come soon, though, Jay. Better come soon.
But all right, Jay, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Let's get to our next rate your worry, Jay. James Harden, news just dropped that he's out with a foot injury, causing him to miss an entire month. An entire month. Jay, rate your worry 1 to 10 for this.
I'm at a 10. I'm at a 10, Jay. I'm at a 10. I think this is a Sixer team who you and I know both weren't playing up to the level that they should have been playing. They were struggling with, similar to the Warriors, they were struggling with continuity, struggling to find themselves early on and how they want to play basketball. It is worrisome, Jay. You're 4-5 already as it sits. You're going to rely on Joel Embiid. It's honestly to the same situation as last year when Harden wasn't there before. I think they have a little better depth, but your guy, DeAnthony Melton, has to step up, Jay. Tyrese Maxey, who's showing the strides, has to step up. So I'm gonna temper it down a little bit. I'm gonna say I'm at a 7, Jay. But it's huge to lose a guy, your offensive catalyst, your primary playmaker and ball handler, point of attack guard, and James Harden so early in the season. And not only that, so early in the season, but the fact that you're 4-5, you're 1 game below 100, but these early on, the most important things for teams is to build continuity, is to be in those late game situations when you're down and you have to battle back, and learning how you play with the rest of the team. And missing that time so early in the season could be detrimental, Jay. So that's why I'm pretty high on the Richter scale in terms of worry, Jay. But how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, Jay, I am right there high with you. I honestly, I wanted to go 10, but the only reason why I can't, 10 is like, call the police, smash the emergency, like fire extinguisher thing. Like, but I can't. So I have to go with a 9 because they've gotten off to, the 76ers got off to a slow start. And then just recently, they kind of started to pick it back up because before that last L that they took, they had 3 W's in a row. They beat the Bulls, the Wizards, and the Raptors. Those are 3, solid teams. Definitely the Bulls and the Raptors are 2 solid teams. The Wizards and your guy Porzingis has actually been balling out. So those are 3 solid teams, 3 good dubs that they got. And now James Harden, exactly like what you said, Jay, the man who, a lot of their offense runs through them. It should be going through Joel Embiid, but as we've seen early in the season, a lot of it is going through James Harden. I'm pretty sure I've seen this stat that he has the most dribbles in the entire league right now. So most of the offense is going through him. And now he's going to miss a month. What I fear, Jay, and why I am so high in the worry scale is, will he be playing catch-up when they come? Will the 76ers be playing catch-up to get continuity, to understand how to play with the big piece like that? Because come on, man, taking out Klay Thompson out of a lineup and inserting him back in is so much different than taking in James Harden out and inserting James Harden back in. 2 different types of players. You run your entire offense through James Harden, and you have to play entirely different when he's off the court. So bringing him back on the court, why I'm so worried is the continuity, is will they have it down by the time he comes back? A lot of these teams are going to be in good shape. They're going to be running. They're already going to be running for some time now. And I'm worried for James Harden and the 76ers because now they have to pick it back up. I'm scared, Jay.
And Jay, and also the fact, another worry of this that I didn't even mention is it's a foot injury.
Man.
And anytime you have a lower body extremity injury, you're not going to be able to be running. You're not going to be able to be running up and down the court. Say this was a wrist injury, an arm injury, like Chris Middleton. He's been able to run lines. He's been able to stay in relative basketball shape. For Harden, a guy who's struggled with being in shape his whole career.
That is true.
This is a terrible injury for him. I didn't even think about that. Awful injury. So you look at it from that lens, this could be huge for not only the Sixers, but James Harden and his ability to get back into basketball shape. And he's going to have that to worry about, added to the fact that the Sixers are going to be without his presence for so long, Jay.
Great point, Jay. Great point. Didn't even think about that, man. Jay, we've known James Harden to struggle with his weight. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. And that honestly kind of makes me think of the Zion situation, because remember when Zion got like a little chubbier because he had that foot injury. And I remember the other day I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, why is the world coming down on Zion? How is he supposed to be in shape if he can't run, if he can't do any of those things? And I was like, wait, that is true. So come to James Harden, Same thing, man. Wow, great point, Jay. That's very concerning. I might bump it up to a 9.5 for that, Jay. But all right. So then let's get to this next rate your worry statement, Jay. Kawhi Leonard, the man who's missed the entire season last season, has only played in 2 of the 8 Clippers games so far. I would know best because I unfortunately took the guy in fantasy. Jay, rate your worry on Kawhi Leonard still missing time after missing an entire season with an ACL injury.
I'm gonna go 10. This is the worst case scenario for the Clippers right now. I mean, this is a guy you've been without, like you said, for the whole season last year, and then you relied on him to at least be playing majority half the games. He's only played 20%, 25% of these games, and when you need early on, same as the Sixers, building the continuity, building that early on presence of having all your guys, having all your rotational pieces. And this is worrisome because he missed a year and it doesn't look like he's all the way back. Mm-hmm. So there is a complication that we didn't know about, or that they're kind of finding out, and he's not comfortable playing all these games and he's missing out. So after already missing a year, you're not able to play in at least half the games of 8 games this early into the season, Jay. Unless they're really, really cautious about it, I'm at a 10, man. I'm really worried about this dude never getting back to himself, Jay. And I hate to say it, you drafted him in fantasy, dude, but it's not looking good for the Clippers. It's not looking good for Kawhi because he's not been able to play basketball in only 2 of 8 games this early in the season after missing a year.
Yeah, Jay. Extremely concerning. I am right there with you. I am at a 9 because, like you said, he just missed the entire season last season. I was expecting him to come back in a whole different mode. And physically wise, he looks great. He looks bigger than ever, but he's not out there playing. So I don't care how great you look physically. You need to be out there hooping. You be out there getting it done. And I mean, we know what ACLs have done to players' injuries, and we know what ACL has done to players' careers in the past. We know a lot of players who maybe they still have remained in the league, but never been the same killer that they were. Just never been. I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, we know the infamous Derrick Rose story. Klay Thompson, I know he's time to get back, but he's never had a chance to. He even talks about like there's certain moves he doesn't want to do sometimes because it just feels weird. And I honestly fear for that same thing with Kawhi Leonard, Jay. So I'm right there with you. And especially because Ty Lue, he's supposed to be like, he's the head coach. He's supposed to be Kawhi's protector. And he came out and said that it's Kawhi's knee that's bothering him. So, I mean, shoot, Jay, it's got to be a lingering issue that's leaving us to concern. At the end of the day, that is Kawhi Leonard, but let's see if he can ever get back to, Toronto Raptors and, early Spurs Kawhi, because that was a whole different beast, man.
Facts.
Yeah. All right, Jay. So real quick, Jay, that wraps up our Rate Your Worry. But real quick, before we get into these games, Jay, I just want to run, real quick segment. Who's at the table, Jay? This is a new segment we introducing. And it could be it could be a table with MVPs, could be a table with Defensive Player of the Years. Don't really matter. Today, we're going to go with specific MVP. So that is usually I grew up with the family of 4, Jay. So I sit at the table with a family of 4. So I'm just going, just go with a table of 4. No specific order, Jay. Who is at your table for MVP so far, 9-10 games into the season?
Oh, yeah, it's tough, Jay. It's tough. Or it's not that tough, actually. I changed my words up. It's Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. And I want to say I could throw in Donovan Mitchell right now, how he's been playing, how he's been leading the troops in Cleveland, Ja Morant. And then I will say sneakily, Jay, I have Jason Tatum right there. He's in that top 5 range for me. Because those guys are winning. Those guys are playing winning basketball. Giannis would have to be at the top. If I'm saying it, I know you said different order, but this team's 7-0 right now. Yeah. And he's playing arguably the best basketball of his career. But who you got, Jay? Who's at the table with John Acosta?
Who's at the table with John? I definitely got Luka, man. I mean, he scored 30, Jay. He scored 30 every game so far. That's absurd. He just passed Michael Jordan's record of scoring 30 for the consecutive amount of seasons. I mean, amount of first games of the season. He's at 7 right now. Right now, he's averaging a ridiculous 36 points per game on 51%. Giannis, 7-0. I don't got to say much there. KD, I had KD. Once you said Tatum, I have to rethink it because KD is not winning the same way Tatum is. But KD putting on the show, though. 32 points per game, 52% from the field, and 34% from the three-point line. Absolutely absurd. Love to watch it, but he's not winning. So I'm going to go ahead and concur with you, Jay, and take out KD, put Jason Tatum in that position for sure. And then the other player I'd have instead of Donovan Mitchell is John Morant, Jay. 31 points per game, 6 assists, 52% from the field, 51% from the three-point line, 85% from the line. He's getting there 10 times per game. He's doing this thing, man. That's just real quick, Jay. Real quick MVP table, man. For the family out there, let us know, who's at the table. Who's sitting with you, man? Who's sitting with you? All right, Jay. So let's go ahead and get into these game recaps. We know for all the family out there, we like to give y'all these recaps for those of you guys that don't got the time to watch all these games. We're gonna highlight some of these. I will start, Jay, from November 1st. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Magic 116-108. Two teams of the future, Jay. I mean, you could clearly see that these teams both have just so much talent of these young guys, but you could also see that Pablo Banchero is just head and shoulders above his class, man, leading all rookies in scoring, rebounds, assists. And then also, one of the first things that I noticed on the Magic side, Jay, was their length. Their starting five is massive. There's not a player who's under 6'8". Pablo is the only player who's under 6'8", and he's 6'6". Huge. That's their guard. Oklahoma City Thunder, first thing I noticed on their side was their tempo, man. They're this season averaging 17 fast break points per game, and it really showed this game, Jay. They kept getting out off a make, off a miss. It didn't matter. They were getting the ball down court. And then, I did just want to give another quick shout out to Bobo, like I was mentioning earlier. Been balling out, Jay. I mean, we know how good SGA is at creating space, but it just doesn't matter because Bobo just covers so much space. And he had, I believe, most of his 4 blocks on SGA, man. So that was, great to see. Oklahoma City Thunder, Jay, their bench came up big, scoring 44 bench points. And then also, Jason, while we're talking about, Oklahoma City Thunder, I got to talk about that Poshesky guy, the dude who he's not very big, look like a little scrawny out there. Honestly, Jay, I have to just put this in here. Doesn't have to do much to the game, but if he's going to be in this league, Jay, he's got to get bigger. Wendell Carter abused him on the glass in the low post. Wendell Carter ended up finishing the game with 30 points, 12 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, and he was 8 of 8 from the line and only took 3 shots outside the key. So that means most of his 30 points, Jay, he was just taking it to him inside because he just couldn't guard him. And then, Jay, here comes the end of the game. This game was good until Oklahoma City Thunder was down by 16 points, Jay, with 5 minutes left. And then with 3 minutes left to go in the game, OKC ended up going on a run, and now they're up by 2 because of what? Their lockdown defense and their fast break easy points. And also the Magic, Jay, just choked. They choked, and their youthfulness really came out in this game. Veteran teams, they know that you can't just keep doing the same thing. If the other teams adjust, you have to adjust. The Magic did not do that. And Jay, I counted 10 consecutive trips that the Magic went down court and took a bad shot and missed. I counted 6 minutes without a made field goal. At 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, the Magic had scored their 106th point. They finished the game with 108 points. So that should tell you about how poor that fourth quarter is. And the Magic, took the L, but shout out Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you have anything you want to touch on this game, Jay? Did you have a chance to check this one out?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing is that I see most with the, not only the length that I see with the Thunder, Jay, but it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is looking like a all NBA caliber player right now. And I think as he leads, the Thunder go, man. It's unfortunate we got robbed of seeing out without Chet this season, because they could have been
fine.
I don't know about in the play-in conversation, but they could have been in the play-in conversation if you add a guy like Chet and his defensive capabilities into that lineup. I don't know how seasoned of an offensive player went in, but you add him into that mix just defensively. He just brings their ceiling a lot higher if you're Oklahoma City. But no, I've just been loving the way Shai's been playing. He's honestly could do everything on the floor. And he's shooting the free throws at a historic rate right now. I think he's missed one free throw this whole season. He is cold. Shout out Canada, man.
Shout out
Hamilton. Shout out Hamilton, Ontario. That's where he's from. But he's putting out an absolute show right now, and I'm looking for Shai as an early All NBA candidate, Jay.
Jay, be real. Did Shai come over to the house and ask you for some lessons, Jay, on the free throw line? I know you a knockdown free throw shooter, Jay. Did he come?
I wasn't hit him like that. And I will say, Jay, about him, man, I'm feeling bad drafting Zach LaVine over Shai. I don't know. The only thing that I can potentially say is that if they start losing a lot and he starts sitting out, that's the only way I can justify it. But he's looking like a bona fide superstar right now.
Shout out SGA. Shout out SGA, Jay. But all right, Jay. So what game you got for us for the highlight for this week?
Yeah. So I got a ruckus, wild finish between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. The Cleveland Cavs came away with the 113 win over the Boston Celtics in Cleveland in overtime. And this game was not only about an MVP candidate performance and season that we've seen, but it was the return of a certain dude, and that's Darius DG Garland, man. And he had 29 points in his return, looking like his old self, right? He was out all that while with an eye injury, and he's back, and he never looked. He came back. You know, he had 12 assists, 29 points in this, including a huge alley-oop to Donovan Mitchell in overtime that put the Cavs up 112-109. And then they were able to hold on to their lead for their second win over the Celtics in a span of a week, Jay. And this is huge. And one reason that they were able to really dominate the Celtics and kind of not control this game for majority, but really control this game. And you look at teams and them separating themselves, and it was the length and size of the Celtics. Yes, they do have the length and size of the Cavaliers. Yes, they do have a small backcourt, but their backcourt is talented. Arguably one of the best, most talented offensive duos in the league. And we saw that on full display in their first game back together. But it was in the paint that really made the difference for the Cavaliers. Yes, like I said, they have a small backcourt, but their front court just makes up for that in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And they beat the Celtics in the paint, outscored them 56-42 in the paint. And that's where really what can make and break a team. You know, that's especially at home, being able to get those high percentage looks is huge, right? Both teams didn't shoot it well from the 3-point line. Both shot it close to 28%. The Cavaliers with a 2% edge at 28% to 26%. And then the Cavaliers were also able to, effectively keep up with the Celtics on the board. Surprisingly, they were able to, they lost the rebounding battle by 52-51 in favor of the Celtics. But Jay, as we both know, stats don't really always tell the story, right? Yes, the Celtics won the rebounding battle, but I just felt like every key rebound, every second chance opportunity, rebound that needed to be made, the Cavaliers were making those plays, whether it was in overtime when Evan Mobley got a huge rebound and then kicked it out to, I believe, Donovan Mitchell, who then made an extra pass to someone who knocked down a big shot. Little plays like that make a difference. And I felt like all of those 50-50 balls the Cavaliers were making. So huge play for them. Obviously got to give some love to the Celtics on their end. A huge night from Jaylen Brown, who scored 30 points. Jason Tatum also had 26 points, 12 rebounds for the Celtics. And who are also, looking to avenge their OT home loss. So we can see right now, Jay, that both of these teams are, going to be back and forth all season. I don't know. It's too early. The Cavaliers are 6-1 right now. The Celtics are 4-3, but these look like two close teams. I don't know if I'm ready to say the Cavaliers are contenders, but they're certainly in that conversation, right? I just think we already saw an injury from Darius Garland early. I just think their backcourt is too small. As talented as they are, I think their size is too much to overcome, and I think they could break down. NBA is a long season; it's 82 games. And with that, the size that they're giving up, they could see them start to break down, Jay. But just was an exciting game. But the Cavaliers were ultimately able to come off. Some just tip-ins, some facts that we got. The Celtics certainly need Robert Williams back. This Brown and Jason Tatum each have 6 20-plus point games, which has been huge that they've been able to. And the Cavaliers this season improved to 3-0 in overtimes. Like Kevin Love missed all 5 3-pointers after making 8 on Sunday. He did have a rare dunk, Jay, so that was huge for Kevin Love. And big win for the Cavaliers in general, man. Anytime you can beat the defending Eastern Conference champions at your home court, and then earlier the week before on the road, it's a huge confidence booster, especially, when we talk about the fact that teams early on are building that continuity. They're being in these late game situations, and the Cavaliers have already had 3 of those games and they've won all 3. So you love it to see that if you're JB Bickerstaff in this Cavaliers organization and team, man.
You absolutely have to love it, Jay. That was an amazing recap. Thank you for that, my brother. And one thing, and I want to point out too, from the Cavs side, their starting 5 all scored 14 points or more. Jared Allen had the least amount of points with 14, but he also had 14 offensive. He had 14 rebounds as well. So he was doing his role and getting it done. And honestly, Jay, shoot, man, this Cavs team is getting me young OKC, Kevin Durant, James Harden vibes, bro. Like that. To be real with you, that's giving me that kind of vibes. And I'm really excited. The only thing that keeps me away from saying they're contenders is their youthfulness, is how small they are. And we know that the game is played a bit different in the playoffs, and smaller players are usually kind of played off the court at times. But Donovan Mitchell, great talent. Darius Garland, great talent. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure something out, but big shout outs to them. And then Jay, just real quick on the Celtics, when are we going to start considering Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to be arguably the best duo in the league? Should that be soon?
They're right in that conversation. They're a top 5 duo. Absolutely.
They gotta be top 5.
They gotta be, because when they're playing at their best, the Celtics are winning games.
Man, yeah, they gotta be top 5. So definitely shout out Celtics and Cavs. Great game. Jay, I'm going to go ahead and get into my next game. That was also on November 2nd. That was the Lakers versus the Pelicans. The Lakers beat the Pelicans 120-117 in overtime win. The Lakers, honestly, first thing I noticed, they're finally bringing Russell Westbrook off the bench, and I love it. It makes sense for everyone. He went from getting boos to when he's on the court to now he's getting ovations and standing ovations when he comes off the bench. And I mean, I've another thing I've been saying since we got Lonnie Walker, Jay, I was telling man, Lonnie Walker's a great pickup, and he just struggled with consistency, being consistent. But this game, Jay, yeah, he really popped off. 28 points, 52% from the field, 55% from the free throw line. He hit some big timely shots. And man, I mean, I think he's going to be a great player on this team. The Lakers just need to keep giving him the chances. I know he said early in the beginning of that game, he said, this is the first time I feel like I can play through mistakes. So, Lakers need to just keep giving him that chance to play through mistakes so he could be at his best. And right now, Jay, I mean, the Lakers are currently sitting in second place in the entire league for defensive rating at 104.7. And you really saw that this game, Jay. I mean, the CJ McCollum and Zion Williamson got held to a combined 10 points in that first half. So the Lakers defense really, locked down in that first half. And then in the second quarter, you could also see that by the Pelicans only scoring 17 points, but an AD a slow offensive start to the game, Jay, brought that defensive energy, getting a quick 3 blocks and 2 steals just in that first half. And also, I got to highlight other players besides, LeBron and AD, because as AD and LeBron weren't having the greatest offensive night, they even said it on the commentary. They said it looks like something's wrong with LeBron. Like, yeah, it really did look like something was wrong with LeBron that game. But the team as a whole stepped up. Everyone scored more than 7 points except Patrick Beverley. And then the Pelican side of things, Jay, I got to give a quick shout out to the Pelicans roster, because I was watching this game and I saw Devontae Graham come off the bench. And I was like, whoa, in my opinion, Devontae Graham is a starting guard in this league. For him to be coming off the bench, I think that, says a lot about their depth at the guard position. And then in the second half, Jay, the Lakers really struggled to score, only scoring 26 points in the third, 29 points in that fourth quarter. And they gave up a 16-point lead, Jay. And the Pelicans walked down a 16-point lead and actually took the lead for a bit. And in my opinion, the whole reason why this happened, Jay, was because Lakers just kind of started giving up on the defensive end. They weren't getting all those easy buckets that they were able to get in that first half, because the Pelicans just were putting it in the basket. But in the final 3 minutes of the game, Jay, and in overtime, the Lakers went right back to that, that lockdown defense and got some easy buckets because of it. And ultimately, Matt Ryan did save the day with that crazy heroic 3-pointer in the corner, which is a beautifully drawn up play with all the screens and all that. But what I want to highlight was Matt Ryan, the fact that he caught it, looked down to make sure his feet were behind the line, and then shot it. Like, most players don't even do that. So big shout out to Matt Ryan, and especially because he was doing DoorDash a couple of months ago, but now now he's in the league.
Crazy story,
Jay. But great game overall, man. I mean, ultimately, I think Matt Ryan saved the Lakers and saved LeBron, because I think that if the Lakers would have dropped that game and LeBron played the way he did, LeBron actually took the game-winning shot before Matt Ryan did, and he missed it. I think LeBron would have got a lot for that. The Lakers would have got a lot for that. And then just to give just some other little notes on the game, I loved how Zion Williamson, Jay, was taking more outside shots. He actually even took his first 3-pointer of the year this year, which was great to see. It looked awkward, but he got to keep getting them up there, and it'll start looking better. Lakers still took too many threes, Jay, in my opinion. They took 36, which is too much. They were 10 for 36. I think that number, I've said this in the past, I think that number needs to be at 25 to 30. And last point right here, Jay, honestly, and this is all genuineness, since Westbrook's gone to the bench, like, this Lakers team has 100% gotten better. Not perfect, but definitely gotten way better. And I truly do believe in the turnaround of this Lakers team. Not saying for a championship, but I still think Russell Westbrook needs to go. But as long as he comes off the bench, I truly do believe in a turnaround in this Lakers team, as long as, LeBron and AD stay healthy out there. But overall, Jay, great game. Lakers got their second win, and now they're sitting at the 13th seed.
Yeah, no, that sounds crazy. Their 13th seed, but yeah, no. Shout out Matt Ryan, huge shot. But Jay, I absolutely believe in a turnaround. We both had them, I believe, at the 7th seed early on. If they're going to turn around this season, though, I will say they need better performances. Yes, it is nice that they won this game. Because certainly, like you said, defensively, they were locked in, arguably the better team, throughout the game. For majority of the game, the Pelicans, had a better fourth quarter, but when plays needed to be made at the end, the Lakers certainly came up with them. The only thing I will say is, for the Lakers to have any success, they need LeBron to be the top 5 player that, we know they can be. So that's my only concern. But if he starts playing the level that we know they can play, they're going to certainly start racking off some wins here moving forward, Jed. But let's talk about another team who struck. Well, the Lakers have won, I believe, 2 straight now, but a team who's been struggling to start the season, and that's my Golden State Warriors, sitting at 3-6 now, I believe. With another 4th straight loss against the Orlando Magic, 130-129, and a huge night, career night from Jalen Suggs, 26 points, 9 for 17 from the field, 9 assists, 4 steals. We saw him come up with some big plays at the end on Stephen Curry. But this is the story of this game was, like we have been the case this whole road trip for the Warriors, was the bench players and how they've been performing or not performing in this case. The whole Warriors starting five, Draymond Green +5. We're going to look up to this. Wiggins +3. And in this case, plus minus might not always tell the story, Jay, but in this case it does, because that's a reflection of when these guys are off the floor, the rest of the bench unit is not stepping up. And this is why I'm going to be reading off the plus minuses of the starting rotation. Kevon Looney +10, Stephen Curry +4, Klay Thompson +13. And then we get to the bench. JaMychal Green -15, Dwayne Wiseman, one of the worst games of arguably of his career. That's why I talked about him potentially not being in rotation, -9. Ty Jerome had a decent night, +3. Jordan Poole, awful game, -10. Moses Moody, -9. So it's just, we've seen throughout the beginning of the season, the Warriors' inability to get productive minutes from their bench. And that's exactly what happened in this game. And the Magic were able to take advantage of that. So when we push it to the Magic, Jay, and what they were able to do well, and that was, number one, the free throw discrepancy. The Warriors shot 15 free throws to the Magic's 46 free throws. Absolutely. I don't know historically what the biggest free throw discrepancy has been, but that has to be one of them. The Warriors shot 31 less free throws than the Magic. On the road, that's a hard deficit to overcome, man. But at the same time, the Warriors, a lot of the fouls that they had were awful fouls, and kind of mindless fouls, take fouls, all of this, all of that. And those fouls add up to where you're in the bonus early on in the second quarter. In the first quarter, we saw early in the fourth quarter that they were in the bonus. The Magic were in the bonus because of easy, just terrible fouls. And those type of plays and those type of free throws come back to bite you in these type of games. So Jay, one of the biggest runs, there was 9 minutes left in the third quarter. The bench unit was on the floor for the Warriors, and they blew a 15-point lead. The Magic were able to battle back and eventually took the lead, and the Warriors were never really able to truly close the gap. They did take the lead towards the end of the fourth quarter, but it was just the Jalen Suggs show, man. He was motivated. He was hungry. And this is the first time we've really seen him kind of step up. And now he is the lead guard with Cole Anthony out for them, Markelle Fultz. We don't know when he's coming back, but this was a huge opportunity for him to step up. And he absolutely did, Jay. And you kind of look at this, Magic team is hungry, Jay. As you mentioned earlier, Paolo Banchero, he's looking like he's a huge steal. Arguably, right? A lot of people had doubted him when they said he was going to be the first pick, but he has been showing that throughout, Jay. But I will say the story of this was Jalen Suggs being that guy, just got it done, Jay. And the early Jay has the sign, he has the pickup because he got Chuma Okeke early on Thursday. And it paid off big time, Jay. The Chuma had 16 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 1 block off the board, and he was a +13. Caleb Houston had some good 5 minutes towards the end in the second half. RJ Hampton, good minutes off the bench as well. And then Harris had good minutes off the bench for the Magic. So just an all-around team effort, right? Led by Jalen Suggs for the Magic, and then nothing projection-wise for the Warriors, man. Just a bad loss on the road. They moved to 0-5 on the road after this loss, and the Magic continue to dominate the Warriors at home. They actually have, I believe, a 5 or 4 game win streak at home since 2017 against the Warriors. So they've been taking care of business. That's a crazy statistic. Yeah, the Magic have had some ownage at home against the Warriors dating back to 2017. So Be interesting to see how the Warriors respond, Jay. This is probably the worst start you could have had if you're them, defending champions, to start the season. Like I said earlier, maybe a scheduled loss tonight against the Pelicans, so they're potentially looking at 3-7 going home. So not the start if you wanted, but certainly a good game despite the outcome. A great game to watch, man, and it's good to see these young stars battling with a true tested team like the Warriors and the Magic, man.
Yeah, Jay, that was a nail-biting game. 129, 128. And I didn't want to ask Jay. Kuminga wasn't injured, right? Like he just got a DNP.
No, he's just DNP. Yeah.
Man, because I'm looking and I'm thinking like I feel like Kuminga would have been great against this youthful Magic roster. They got a bunch of just crazy, just jumping out the gym everywhere, young guys. I think Kuminga is exactly that. But so yeah, it would have been great to see him get some more minutes. And then I also looked at that third quarter, Jay. I mean, the Magic scored 43 points in that third quarter. And I feel like, if the Warriors would have just held them to just like a regular third quarter, they might have even, they would have took this game because they lost by 1 point. But yeah, overall, Jay, great game, great recap on that, my brother. And yeah, I mean, yeah, with that, no, not concerned for the Warriors as far as playoffs. It's very early in the season, but they do fall now to the 12th seed, and we got to see where they're going to go from here, man. But I think like how you said, Jay, after that road trip, when they come back and they start stop trying to run all these new lineups and stop trying to test all these players, I think they'll get back right on board. Sure. But all right, Jay. Well, I think this is a good place for us to go ahead and wrap it up here, Jay. We had a jam-packed episode. We had some game recaps. We had the up or down, who's at the table, rate your worry, and we can't forget about Jakob Poeltl game, man. That shout out to you for that, Jay. So I think this is a good place for us to go ahead and wrap it up. Is there any final thoughts that you have here, Jay? You want to say?
Nah, Jay. Looking forward to an action-packed weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday, man. But yeah, let's get it.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. And for those of you guys that are on YouTube, y'all see the shirt, man. Clutch Talk merch. Make sure y'all go support. Make sure y'all go show some love. It's in the link in our bio. So that also means you got to go check out our Instagram, our TikTok, our Twitter, all of that, man. Go check us out. But if that's it, then we out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.